What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Scross Entertainment. I'm Edwin,
I'm Andrew.
and today we're here for our review of Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Very excited. We just saw it last night. We took the
Yep.
night to kind of think about it, let it simmer in our brains, mull it over a little bit. But yeah, this is going to be a spoiler review, just so you guys are aware. We're gonna give our spoiler-free thoughts and just quick little opinion on whether we like the movie or not, and then we'll jump into all the spoilers, everything that you guys are wanting to know. So, first of all, Andrew, what did you think? You saw the movie right after I saw it.
Yep.
What were your
I
initial reactions?
I thought deep down it was hot trash.
Actually,
No, I'm joking. I liked it a lot.
a lot.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was like super cool. I thought it was creative. I think they took like the Doctor Strange whole magic aspect of the MCU to like a really like interesting and like creative level
Mm-hmm.
that they were before, because in the first Doctor Strange and all that, it was very like, here's an orange whip, here's an orange shield, here's orange energy.
Yeah.
But in this, they just like they really like
I mean, all that stuff
took,
is still there.
yeah, all that's still there, but they expanded it into like so much more stuff that it's just like super interesting, and I was into it a lot.
Yeah.
What
Well,
about you?
I liked it, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I liked it as much as you did. I have some issues with it.
All right, cool,
I
cool,
remember
cool.
at the end of the movie, I was looking at Kyle there, and we were kind of just like, what, like, I don't know. I feel like the best word to describe it is just messy.
Messy.
Messy. It's a little messy. Not that I didn't like it. I enjoyed it. I thought there was a lot of cool things about it, but uh, there's things that I didn't like. Things that kind of bring it down for me. I can't really get into it the way that I wanted to,
Interesting. Okay.
which we will obviously dive into all those thoughts. But
Yeah.
without any spoilers, um, overall, you thought the movie was pretty good. You enjoyed it.
Yeah, I have minor complaints, but like nothing major, really.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think the pacing could have been better a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of cheesy dialogue. A lot of the writing is a little weird. Sam Raimi's kind of like goofy B grade horror movie kind of direction. Didn't always work for me. There was parts where I was just kind of like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what's with these little like random piano notes that play right out of nowhere? And some
You
of the
didn't like that?
transitions. No, in some parts I did, but like some parts he did it and it didn't make any sense to me. And I was just like, why is that there? It just feels weird. And it's like trying to be a horror movie, but it's not a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Overall, though, I did enjoy most of it. But like I said, I do have issues.
All right, well, we can get into it in
We're
our
gonna
spoiler
Are we
section.
diving into the spoilers right now?
I think so.
Let's do it. So we are going into the spoilers now. If you guys do not want to be spoiled, please pause the video, click off, go see it, come back, and then we can talk about all the juicy details together. But if you have seen it or you just don't care about spoilers, here we go. So, wow. Okay, first things first.
Yep.
Um, I don't know where to start.
Well, first things first, what'd you like?
I liked a lot about the movie.
Yeah.
I liked how Wanda was like a huge. It was kind of more of a Wanda movie, to be honest. She was like the villain,
You think so? Yeah.
but the problem I have is that she was the villain and she kind of like overshadowed Doctor Strange. Like she was like way more powerful than Doctor Strange and more powerful than everybody, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like I know she's supposed to be like that. But
Hmm.
she kind of like took the spotlight away from Doctor Strange in his own movie, I think.
You think
Um,
so?
yeah, she was like the main fucking attraction.
Hmm.
And with America Chavez, which was like a cool introduction to her character, I thought it was pretty interesting. But she's also kind of just like a MacGuffin, a little bit, in my opinion.
A bit, but I do like that they gave her some character and some, some development and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's not again like it's not like I hated the movie. It's just like a lot of things
Mhm.
I wish they did a little bit better. Um, I feel like the trailer showed most of the stuff that was in the movie.
You think so?
Yeah, and like like I said, I felt like more like a Scarlet Witch movie than a Doctor Strange movie to me. She had more of a character arc than he did. And I guess, you know, we can talk about the surprise guests. You know,
Yeah.
They brought in the Illuminati, which was, I think everyone was kind of like already expecting that. If you like know stuff.
Yeah, it was in trailers, like Mordo literally going like, "Well, the Illuminati will come see you now," or whatever,
yeah.
right?
But she kind of just like, you know, Wanda walks in.
Yeah.
You get the cool Illuminati. You get to see all these cool characters. Let's just wait for a second to see who it is. And then Wanda comes in and just fucking kills them in like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
you barely get to see them. It was just like, that sucks.
There is a reason for two of them that got kind of booted right out at the beginning of that fight. There is a reason for that, and it's because of reshoots.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So, not so spoilers. Obviously, Mr. Fantastic and Black Bolt are in this movie.
It's John Krasinski playing Mr. Fantastic,
by John Krasinski,
which I thought that was like my biggest like hype excitement moment when that happened.
Yep.
It really fucking got me going. Like I looked at Kyle, I was like, no fucking way they actually did it, because I literally I had no idea. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see any of the leaks. I had no idea. And then I see fucking John Krasinski's teleport in as Mr. Fantastic, and they're saying, oh, it's the smartest, or I think they said the smartest man alive.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy fuck, I can't believe they actually got him. And I was like, no.
They also had Black Bolt in there, the same actor from the Inhuman show, actually, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Kyle knew him. I didn't know who Black Bolt was. I'd never seen Black Bolt before. I didn't know who the fuck that guy was. But everyone in the theater was pretty excited. Most of the people.
No, yeah, he's insane. Like, his whole power is if he lets a noise out of his mouth, it creates like shockwaves that just like obliterate everything.
And so when Wanda kind of like took away his mouth, because Mr. Fantastic, like, he could destroy you with one word, and then she's like, what, or one word out of his mouth or whatever, and then Wanda's like, what mouth? And then his mouth was gone, and I guess he like tried to talk, and it fucking blew his brains out from the inside. That was pretty fucked up. You also have Captain Carter, the live action Captain Carter, and she gets decapitated.
Is it decapitated? No, half?
She got sliced in half by her own shield. That was pretty crazy. Maria Rambeau is Captain Marvel, which was in the trailer as well. A lot of people thought that maybe that was the Superior Iron Man.
Yeah, everyone thought it was going to be like Tom Cruise Superior Iron Man or whatever.
No, it turned out...
I never thought that. I never had that inkling, but yeah, it turned out being Maria Rambeau, Captain Marvel. It was really cool.
Professor X is Xavier, and he's got like the yellow chair from like the comic or the animated series.
They straight up were doing the animated series. They had the theme song, the chair. They had him in like kind of like the green suit and everything. Like it was exactly out of the animated series.
So yeah, like all that stuff was really cool. But you know, you get Mr. Fantastic for the first time, and he has like one single fucking arm stretch, and then he gets turned into fucking blue licorice.
Yes, he becomes spaghetti.
Spaghetti man, and blows up his brain. But you know, that's good because we know that that's not the Marvel 616 universe. So I'm sure that casting is going to stick, and it's going to go on into the Fantastic Four movie.
That's one thing I was thinking about, because I don't know if they will stick with John Krasinski, honestly.
If they don't, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Because like I would like them to, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I like John Krasinski and like the whole fan casting with like him and Emily Blunt and like that role. But this is a multiverse. It could be like a thing they're doing where it's kind of like they know people like the character, they want this character, but they don't want to like commit to having him be like the main guy. So like, here we go.
Yeah, but
John Krasinski is Mr. Fantastic in the multiverse, but in the actual 616 MCU, they're gonna like
but everyone else, like Morta looks the same. Captain Carter looks the same. What am I saying? Black Bolt looks the same. All the Doctor Strangers look the same. Everyone that's like a multiverse version of themselves in this movie looks the same as their 616 counterpart.
That's fair.
So I don't think they would do that. That's such a rug pull to bring him in for like 2 seconds to get his ass kicked and then never see him again. So I really think that John is going to stay.
I hope they keep him, because
I think he nailed it for the couple of minutes that he was on the screen.
Yeah.
So I think it was good. But I don't know. There's a lot of things like those are the highlights of the movie for me. Those cameos and stuff like that. That was really cool. But then you look at the movie on its own. I thought it was just gonna be way bigger. I thought the stakes were gonna be higher. I thought they were gonna bring in like the X-Men. Like I thought they were gonna do Deadpool maybe. Just more like craziness, like stuff we weren't expecting, right? And
Right.
they went to like two universes, you know, like we explored like two of them. Barely, very rough, like briefly touched on them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like there was any consequences really in this movie. Like, I mean, obviously, like Doctor Strange, like the whole. If you watch the trailers, it's like you have to accept the consequences of going into the multiverse, da, 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 da. And like he doesn't really have any consequences.
Well, I think he does kind of because
Not really.
well, at the end of the movie, like, you can see that he has like that third eye kind of thing
Yeah,
going
but
on
it seems
now.
like he's mastered it by the second credit scene.
Well, we won't know really. We can see that the other Doctor Strange that he like fought in that like dark Doctor Strange version, and I call him Incel Doctor Strange.
He's
Because
called,
his whole thing was like searching the multiverse for a girlfriend. Like,
yeah, and so
um, um, he like had that third eye, and he was corrupted by the Darkhold.
yeah,
And now we see our Doctor Strange is kind of the same way, where he has like that third eye, and
yeah. That's
because
what I
he read
mean.
the
Like,
Darkhold and everything.
like everyone
I
was,
feel like they're gonna show us later on like how that's affected him
but
for
I feel
sure.
like it doesn't like there's no consequences for Doctor Strange. Like he didn't really change or he didn't really grow. Like
He did
no,
100%.
not really. He chose to use a Darkhold, like despite everybody warning him not to.
I think you missed. I think you missed the character arc of his.
He didn't have a character arc.
He did. At the beginning of the movie, he's talking to Christine and he realizes that it wasn't going to work between them. And she says, why? And it was because like Steven is too controlling. It always has to be his way. She says like, oh, you always have to be the one holding the knife or whatever. Right.
Yeah, I get that.
And throughout the movie, he like keeps doing the same thing. He keeps hearing about these other versions of Doctor Strange who keep doing the same thing. They kept trying to do it their way and they like fucked it up or they messed something up and like there was huge consequences. So at the end of the movie, he lets go and he's like, he's not the one who ends up like defeating Wanda or anything. He lets America do it.
Yeah, but
And
everything in this movie is solved by a fucking pep talk, dude.
I do agree that the pep talk to get her to control her powers at
It's
the
not
end
even just
America.
that. That's one, and then the other one was like
Mhm.
when he's getting fucking captured by the Darkhold and he's getting like sucked in. Fucking Christine just walks up to him and says, "Hey, you're Doctor Strange. Don't forget." And he's like, "I am Doctor Strange." And he's like, "Okay, never mind. We're good." And then the same thing happens 2 minutes later with America Chavez, where he walks up. He's like, "I can't control my powers." And he's like, "Yes, you can." And she's like, "You're right. I can." It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
And then
I can
Wanda,
agree
and
with
then
that.
Wanda goes over to fucking to whatever universe that her kids are alive, and the other version of Wanda is there. Not
Yeah,
Scarlet Witch, but Wanda. And it's
yeah.
the same thing. Wanda walks up to her. It's like, "Are you really like bad?" And she's like, "Am I really bad? Not anymore." Again, everything in this movie, all the big major conflicts, all the serious things are just solved by a little pep talk, like blah blah blah, and they're like, "Okay, you know what? Never mind. Fuck all
Well,
that."
I don't think the Wanda thing was a pep talk thing.
I think it was.
No, well,
She
she
literally
went
walked up
there.
to him and said, "Hey, like, it's okay if you know that your kids are loved. It's all right. Like, you don't have to be bad." And she was like, "You're right. I don't have to be bad. Thanks for the pep talk. That's all it is."
Yeah,
And then she's like, "I'm not bad
but
anymore."
that's not all it was. She saw her kids, or like that version of her kids, like fearing her and like terrified, and she realized that what she was doing was selfish and it wasn't what was best, and that it wouldn't work.
Be
I think as someone that in the state that she was like completely like corrupted by the Darkhold, and she was like not willing to hear out anyone. Like people say in the movie to her, like this is not it's not going to work. Like what about their mother, like their Wanda? What's going to happen to her?
yeah.
She's like completely like
She was just
she's
very focused
bloodlusted,
on
you know.
yeah.
She's completely focused. I think she had to see that was. I feel like that was the only way to get her to stop. Was she
That's
had
why
to
Doctor Strange is like,
see
"Wait, let her do it for a bit. Let her
yeah,
go
she
through it."
had to see what it would have been like if she succeeded and saw that her kids were terrified of her to
And
stop to realize like what she was doing, like who she was becoming, you know.
I
And
agree.
I actually like that as a resolution to like her whole thing in this movie. I actually like that she had to come to the realization that what she was doing was wrong, and no one was gonna just like capture her or like beat her.
No, yeah, no, I agree with that. I just still I think at the end of it though, she really like had her another version of herself like tell her that she's not bad,
Mhm.
and that's where it kind of like ended.
Well, that's not even what they said though. She said,
Pretty
"Don't worry about the
much.
kids."
Like, well, I know, but you know what I mean. I'm not. I'm obviously like just. I'm generalizing. but it's I don't know. I did like Wanda though. I think that she or Elizabeth Olsen did an amazing job. Her acting was great. I liked
Yeah,
the horror
definitely.
stuff when it was like Wanda like chasing them down like hunter mode. All
Hmm.
that like stuff was like really well done. There's a lot of cool stuff in this movie, a lot of visuals. It's like really Sam Raimi-ish. The way he
It
does
is.
like transitions with like the fading out and stuff, like it's very like Spider-Man-esque.
Yeah, it feels like Spider-Man, Raimi Spider-Man a bit.
Yeah,
Like
the way
it
that the
definitely
way that
kind
he
of
does
you get those
transitions.
vibes.
Yeah. um but there were like horror themes in the movie which I did enjoy. It's not like I hated it, but there were parts and times where like he throws little horror stings, like a little piano note that sounds like it's from Insidious or something, where like it doesn't really make sense, like it doesn't fit. Like when Wong's like laying on the side of the rocks after he gets knocked out and he wakes up and you hear a little ding, it's like, why'd you do that? It's not scary.
I don't think that was meant to be a horror thing. I don't
Well,
think.
the piano thing, it's like a horror sting. That's what it's like. It's what it's commonly known as.
I guess.
So it's like stuff like that. There was like parts and places where I thought it was just like didn't make sense. I don't know why it was
I
there.
think I think I think for the most part though, the horror elements in this movie worked really well, and there was a fair amount of them. It throughout the entire movie. There was a
Yeah.
good amount of like horror, like right from the beginning with Wanda. Right as soon as you see her, basically, like
Mm-hmm.
she's kind of terrifying. Even in that like first scene you're with her, where she's just like threatening
She's
him.
like in the field.
And then when she comes in through like the reflections and she like crawls out of that like what is it like a gong or something?
Yeah,
She's all like
yeah.
twisted
And
up.
she gets so. Yeah.
Yeah, and like she's like popping out of the fuck. She's like coming out of the gas with like Professor X. Like, sorry, she's like coming out of the gas with like Professor X and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the whole Illuminati scene when she's like completely she's like covered in like oil, which is like supposed to be like blood, I guess. And she has like glass in her feet. She's like limping and everything.
Yeah. I
Like
know. That's.
the horror element in this movie worked really well for me for the most part,
Yeah.
and there was a good amount. And I'm glad it wasn't like they're like, oh yeah, it's the MCU's first horror movie, yay! And then they have like one scene that's like kind of creepy.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like a horror movie though.
No, it didn't feel like a horror movie, but I like the horror elements of
Elements.
it, and
Yeah.
I think it was a good balance because there's never gonna be an MCU like Insidious. There's never gonna be an MCU
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
the Conjuring or the Exorcism. Like that's never gonna happen.
Yeah. No,
So like,
I agree. I just think at some parts it was just kind of like it didn't fit.
mhm.
Like he kind of like I don't know. There's parts where it made a lot of sense and it was really well done, and there was parts where it's like, what are we doing? Like what's it? The tone's off here for this scene,
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Well, what did you think about like the whole the way they handled like Doctor Strange's powers and the magic and everything? What do you
I
think
don't
about
know
that?
because again like I thought like there was a lot of cool stuff that he did, but he
Mhm.
still felt like kind of like underpowered in his own movie. It felt like he was everything that he was trying to fight was like way fucking bigger and stronger than him, and he couldn't really like do anything against it. He just had to keep like running away from Wanda every time Wanda came in. He literally says, "I can't fight Wanda. I can't fight Wanda," and then he just keeps trying to run away from her.
I kind of like that, honestly. It
I
makes sense to me.
I wanted to see him fucking stand up and fight her like legit. Use like every fucking power trick, everything he's got in his arsenal to like get like
Yeah,
there
but
are
then
there are points where he does stuff like that, which is really cool.
yeah.
Like the zombie strange thing was pretty cool.
Hmm.
Where he dream walks into his corpse and he's got like the souls of the damned like kind of like helping him like
Yeah.
fly and using
Yeah.
them. That stuff was cool. That's like cool. That's Doctor Strange stuff that I'm like, okay, like he's starting to do stuff that's like outside of the box. When he fought the incel strange, like as you like to say, and they're using like paint like notes, music notes to like back fight each other.
That was probably like my favorite Strange moment.
Yeah, see,
Doctor
that's the
Strange
stuff I
moment
like.
in the movie. Like I thought that was so creative, and I think it comes down to Sam Raimi is such like a different and creative person. Like he saw the Doctor Strange whole power set and he thought, how can I expand it? So like
Hmm.
the whole like the magic note fight where like it comes into the score, like what they're doing, like it was so cool. And the what was it, the souls thing being like his cape
Yeah,
as like zombie strange, that is so creative and like cool to see.
that's what I mean. That
And
stuff was really cool. I like that.
yeah, it was like stuff like that, and the things that he does, even at like near the beginning of the movie, like he has that thing where he like sends out these like hands that like grab the lamp
Oh yeah,
post,
yeah.
and like all this other different stuff. It's like it's super cool. I just thought like they
It's more than just
expanded
like
Doctor Strange's.
orange things that he builds and throws.
Yeah, Yeah, like I feel like they thought like Doctor Strange is magic. He can do lots of different stuff. Like there's a part in this movie where he like sends out this like Hydra monster. Every time Wanda kills one, like two more come out, and he's like holding her back with that for a minute.
Yeah,
Like they just thought of so many different uses for Doctor Strange's power that were so like I appreciate that because the orange glowy stuff is such a it's basic compared to what they're doing in this movie.
I agree. Yeah, I definitely think they stepped it up. Um, I just wish he was more like he felt more like able to hold his own. Like he felt powerful in his own movie because I feel like every time, like again, there are a lot of cool stuff that he does or things that he does. But it's like every time he comes up to like something, it feels like it's way bigger than him. And he's not really able to fight it, which is like I want because Doctor Strange is like fucking powerful in the comics
Well,
and stuff. You know
what other than Wanda, what people and like kind of threats are you talking? Because I can't remember any time in the movie he really was like, I can't fight this, or
that
like
demon
was like,
monster at the beginning.
No, he beat that though.
No, the one at the very beginning when he was in like the where the Book of Ashanti is. The thing
Oh,
literally killed him.
That was a different Doctor Strange. We don't care about him.
Okay, but still, it killed him. And then every time he comes up to Wanda, he has to run away from Wanda. And then
I actually like that he like realized he knows he can't go against Wanda and he has to like run away from her. I actually like that.
He did beat that incel version of himself.
He what?
He beat the incel version of himself.
I mean, he beat everyone but Wanda in this movie. I'm pretty sure. Like he beat Mordo and like kind of like that one-on-one they had.
Yeah, but they had
even without his powers.
Yeah.
Even without I like that though. Even without his powers, he's still able to go against this guy who's using magic against him.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
And like get the upper hand. He beat that tentacle. I think they call it like Gargantos or something like that.
The big eye guy.
Yeah, the big guy. He beats him. He beats Incel Strange. He like escapes from Wanda in like every situation that he has to. He's like able to like kind of get the upper hand and like get away from her.
Yeah.
I think Strange was super competent. He was just Wanda's just on a crazy other level, and she's like completely bloodlusted. There's like no There's no fighting that, you know.
So speaking of Wanda again, at the end she like decides like, you know what, I gotta destroy this dark hold. Like I don't want anyone to be tempted by it anymore. So she decides to destroy the
temple or whatever.
The temple or whatever from the inside for some reason. You know, like I don't think she killed herself either.
No, you don't. If you don't see a body on the screen, they're alive.
They like went right. If the way they did it was kind of weird. Like they show the whole thing crumbling, and then you see a little red like explosion. Obviously, that's like probably her like pushing it away or whatever. And then it just fades away. You're like, oh, okay. There's a lot of the editing choices, a lot of the pacing in this movie was kind of off for me. It didn't like there was a lot of stuff that was going on that I felt like I was like my brain had to like catch up. I was like, wait, hold on. Like it's just I mean, if from start to finish, it's like very quick. Like everything's just go. There's very few moments where you have to like kind of like calm down and like you know breathe in the fucking universe or whatever that you're in. Which was fine, but it's just like I don't know. There was something missing for me where it was like, what's making me like care? Like what's like pulling at my heart here? What am I really invested in? I just feel like a whole bunch of fucking craziness and then it's done. And then even at the very, very end, it's still like crazy. Well, what the fuck? What's going on? Like this, it didn't feel like a full from start to finish conclusion. You know, like first, second, middle, third act to me. It's very the pace was just very, very weird. And then obviously like at the very end, you see Doctor Strange's third eye open again. So he's like obviously like he's still like cursed or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And then 2 seconds later, you go into the first end credit scene, and I don't know who the fuck that was. It's Charlize Theron.
I looked it up. I know who it is.
Okay, so who is that?
You remember Dormammu?
Yes, I did notice that's where they were going.
Yeah, it's his niece, and in the comics, everything. In the comics, he's like married, and Doctor Strange is like married to her.
Oh, that's who that is. What's her name though? I forget.
It's Clea, I think.
Clea. Well,
yeah.
Then you see his third eye open again, and he's always like in control. So it seems like he's like kind of like mastered it, or he's like able to use that. Where it's not like taking him over. Like,
well, we will see what happens because the Darkhold is such a crazy. The Darkhold is such a crazy like artifact. Like I don't know. I know you never saw Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No. But Wanda destroyed all the Darkholds. This is
She
they destroyed
destroyed
all the multiverses.
but before WandaVision, Doctor Strange, all this, the Darkhold was actually in Agents of Shield.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Some people might argue if it's canon or not or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
I still think there's no contradiction to say it's not in canon, so I'll count it. Um, the Darkhold is a major plot point in Agents of Shield in one of the seasons, and the whole thing with the Darkhold is like once you read it, once you look at it, it like corrupts you, like just instantly. It makes you just like kind of hungry for like what you want and like with your power and everything like that. And now that Doctor Strange has read it, maybe we're gonna see like him have to struggle with like I could be this powerful, I could, you know, do all this stuff, and he has to kind of like because they mentioned that like this version of Doctor Strange is the one who like thinks differently, the one who's
Yeah.
like who's like better than the rest like morally. So I think we'll see an interesting kind of arc going forward for Strange where like maybe he gets a little too power hungry or something like that because that's what the Darkhold does to people.
I feel like it's gonna take forever till we get the next Doctor Strange movie though.
I mean, maybe yeah, but
It's gonna be
I
a long
think
time. I feel like.
I know Benedict Cumberbatch is like completely down to stay in the role and like
Of
continue it.
course, yeah.
Like he has no intention of like leaving or ending it. So like he'll be around to stay.
Yeah. I just think overall, um, I was just expecting a lot more. This was a very surprisingly self-contained movie for like
I like
for
that,
like a
though.
multiverse thing. But I thought this was
Yeah.
gonna be like a blowout. Like we were gonna get crazy. This is how they're gonna bring in the X-Men. This is how they're gonna bring in Fantastic Four, which they kind of did.
Yeah, I don't like that though.
But like
I
they make
remember,
where else are they gonna do it?
because I
Because they have to do it.
they can do it in their own movies. I remember when before this one came out, I was reading like there's something like 90 cameos in this movie, and they're putting in Deadpool and they're putting in Fantastic Four and they're putting in X-Men and they're introducing the mutants and it's going to change everything. And I remember seeing that and I was thinking like, okay, but like where's Doctor Strange as a character going to land in this movie?
No. I don't mean like I didn't want them to like overpower the Doctor Strange movie.
That's the
But
thing.
I thought this movie was gonna be. I thought this movie was gonna be like the whatever happens in this movie, whatever happens with the multiverse, blows things up, makes things crazy, and then this is where we get those things introduced to like move forward. We're like, oh, whatever happened in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is the reason why we have X-Men, because they had Charles come in and they had all these like like a lot of potential, and the movie kind of just felt like underwhelming in that sense, where it wasn't really like that big or as big as like I think people were expecting, at least I was expecting. But if you look at it as just like a self-contained Doctor Strange movie, it's good.
Yeah,
in that sense.
that's what I wanted out of it. And they still did put the teases and the things to set up for the future. Like
they definitely
brought
Secret Wars.
That's what I mean for Secret Wars too.
Yeah.
The incursions. And then they have Fantastic Four there. They basically confirmed John Krasinski is going to be Reed Richards.
His suit looked really cool.
No, it really did. And they mentioned Doctor Strange. He says like, "Oh, like Reed Richards, didn't you guys like disappear or something in the 60s?" Like that right there is the setup for Fantastic Four. So there you go. There is a Fantastic Four setup in the movie.
Yeah.
X-Men is there to kind of introduce the idea of X-Men and mutants and stuff.
You mean like
it's kind of like if Xavier.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have liked it if like fucking the entire like Wolverine, Iceman.
No, I don't think they had
we're all here.
No,
like that would have been too much.
I don't think they have to do all that in this movie, but I thought the events in this movie would be like open the door to like, oh shit, now we're gonna get the X-Men for sure. And I thought maybe in the mid-credit scene you'll see like, oh shit, here they come, like they're coming through a fucking portal or some shit. Like I thought this movie was gonna have like the incursion that blends all these different multiverses together. So now, oh shit, the mutants and Fantastic Four and Deadpool and all that shit's all together now in the MCU. But it wasn't that, which is what I was expecting.
I'm honestly glad they didn't do that. Honestly, I want them to be. I don't want all that stuff fit into one movie. I prefer that they spread it out and they have like, here's what the X-Men's going to be, here's what the Fantastic Four is going to be. They brought back the actor from literally the worst reviewed Marvel property in the entire MCU is Inhumans. They brought back Black Bolt and the same actor.
Yeah.
And they got what's her face, Miss Marvel coming out too, who's an Inhuman in the comic.
Yeah.
So like they're bringing all this stuff in, but they're not doing it all at once in one movie like a lot of people were saying they were going to, and I'm glad they're not, because it would have been way too much for one movie.
No, I agree. I just thought like, again, this movie was going to be the event, or whatever happened in this movie would be the opening of the door to allow those things to happen. but it just didn't. It was more
Yeah,
like a
I think
self-contained movie.
I think it's the opening of the door for the audience to like see what's coming,
Yeah. Okay.
but not an opening of the door like in the MCU where it's like, and now the X-Men exist, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I appreciate that they did that. They're showing us what they're planning and what's coming without overshadowing Doctor Strange in his own movie, being like, oh my god, yeah, this is an X-Men movie because X-Men here and everyone's talking about that, which is already sort of happening with this whole Illuminati scene. All like I'm going through comments and things of people talking about the movie, and most of the comments are just talking about, oh my god, Reed Richards was in it, or oh my god, like X-Men, fantastic, Professor X was in it, and like talking about that.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing less discussion over like Doctor Strange himself, or like Wanda, or America
That's what I feel
Chavez,
like. It
or
was
all that stuff.
Doctor Strange was kind of overpowered or overshadowed in this movie by just everything else. Wanda, I think it was more of a Wanda movie than a Doctor Strange movie. That being said, I think we've kind of worked out our thoughts about the movie. We went through all the spoilers. I think we pretty much touched on everything that was like pretty important.
Yeah, I think so.
So overall, I think it's time to give our rating. So we'll do it out of 10. So Andrew, you can go first. What would you think? Give it a
Out of 10. Oh, I'd probably give it somewhere around like, for like this is an MCU scale, I would give it like 7 or an 8.
you gotta pick
Honestly,
one.
I'll put 7.5.
7.5. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I had a couple of issues with the movie, but again, I'm looking at it. My issues are more like with
Expectation wise,
what my expectations were and what was under what I wanted, and it was a little underwhelming in that sense. But if I just take that out of my head and I look at it as like a Doctor Strange movie, what happened? Is it well made? Is it well acted? I mean, I had a few issues, but overall, I think this was a solid 7 for me.
Nice.
I think I'd probably enjoy seeing it again. Or I enjoyed it more if I saw it again and I kind of like knew what I was watching. And
I feel like
the
a lot
shock
of people
factor was
had their
gone.
I feel like a lot of people had their expectations kind of set up too high. Like even one of my friends who I went to see it with, he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that wasn't what I was expecting. I thought they were going to do like so much more with like
Yeah.
multiverse." Like, and I think it's a bit of the what's the word I'm looking for? The effect
Of like this
of
MCU shit, the
not
hype.
the MCU, but the online discourse of the MCU
Oh, everyone's
and
theorizing
what it's
and
become. I know my friend, one of my other friends. I honestly think the MCU is being ruined for him because he's so involved online with like the theories and people talking
the
about it
leaks,
and the leaks and all this
rumors.
and all
Yeah.
this stuff and the rumors, and it makes it. I feel like it's honestly ruining the MCU for him because he has all these like expectations, all these crazy things
Yeah.
that he's like
That's definitely a
expecting.
problem. That's definitely a problem with the way that the internet
Yeah,
is these days. Everything is like everyone wants to know everything about the movie before it comes out,
yeah.
which is like you can't do that.
Yeah,
Isn't the
I even had a guy in the theater as I was walking out. I overheard some guy talking. He was like, "Oh my god, like why wasn't Deadpool in this? Like what the hell?"
That's what I mean. Yeah.
It's like someone was mad at the movie because
It
some dude on
didn't.
Reddit said that Deadpool was going to be in the movie when it
It just
wasn't.
didn't match the expectations that they
Yeah,
built
so
up in their heads by themselves.
I feel like if you want to enjoy the MCU, you got to step back from the whole like
Online fucking
the
theorizing
online.
bullshit. I agree.
Yeah, it just hurts people's experience with the MCU, I think. Just go into the movie and enjoy it for what's there, you know?
Mhm. All right, guys. So that was our review for Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Very excited to see where the MCU is going, what direction they're going in. I'm very excited to see John Krasinski come back as Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards.
Let's hope so.
That was
Yeah.
my biggest takeaway from the movie. My favorite part was seeing him.
Yep.
I was so excited. That was like a big reveal to me. The same as like, you know, like Cap picking up fucking Mjolnir, all those kind of like super whoa moments. That was really really good for me. So I'm excited to see more of that. But yeah, overall, enjoyed the movie. Happy with it. Looking forward to more. Hopefully you guys are too. Go see it. I definitely think even if you're not a fan of the MCU in general, like if you don't watch every single thing, you know what I mean? You're not completely caught up. I still think it's a good time. You might be a little confused. But I think it's a good time. I think it's worth seeing in the theater. And then maybe if you don't understand things, you can go back and kind of like refresh your memory or whatever it is that you have to do. But I still think it's good. You should support this movie. Obviously, don't have to say that about MCU movies.
They're gonna make $1 billion either way.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine either way. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a like and subscribe if you're new.
Yeah,
really help us out. Really appreciate the support. And yeah, stay tuned for more. But for now, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye, guys.